guess. I'm like junior Mr. Producer now.
I always say there's only one Mr. Producer. I'll do my best. Another one. Highlander.
This is true. There can be only one.
Hours ago, we lost a chopper carrying a cabinet minister and his aide from this charming little country. We've got a transponder fix on their position. About here.
This cabinet minister, does he always travel on the wrong side of the border?
Apparently they strayed off course, and we're fairly certain they're in guerrilla hands.
So why don't you use the regular army? What do you need us for?
Because some damn fool accused you of being the best.
Dylan! You son of a bitch! What's the matter? The CIA got you pushing too many pencils? Huh? Had enough?
Make it easy on yourself, Dutch.
Okay. I did know when to quit, huh?
Damn good to see you, Dutch.
What is this fucking Thai business?
Oh, come on, forget about my time, man. I heard about that little job you pulled off in Berlin. Very nice, Dutch.
Good old days.
Yeah, like the good old days. Then how come you passed on Libya, huh?
Oh, that wasn't my style.
You got no style, Dutch. You know that. Come on. Why'd you pass?
We're a rescue team, not assassins. Now, what do we gotta do?
That cabinet minister is very important to our scope of operations in this part of the world.
Dutch, the general's saying that a couple of our friends are about to get squeezed, and we can't let that happen. We need the best. That's why you're here.
Go on.
Simple setup. One-day operation. We pick up their trail at the chopper, run them down, grab those hostages, and bounce back across the border before anybody knows we were there.
What do you mean, we?
I'm going in with you, Dutch.
General, my team always works alone. You know that.
I'm afraid we all have our orders, Major. Once you reach your objective, Dylan will evaluate the situation and take charge.
Gonna tell Aunt Mary about the joint when he has the music but he has a lot.
Hey, Hezbollah. Hey, quick question. Can you tell me what is the best campus in the real world?
Business.
Okay, thank you.
So, business. Let's see. Let me put Andrew on the screen. Let me put me on the screen. See how I remove this thing. Oh, man. Remove. Yes.
There we go.
Wow. Look, and it's got you on the left side, like the premium. Awesome. Let's see. Let me check if students can hear me or us. It's a 1.
I see some ones in the chat. That means some of the copywriting G's are over here, letting us know that everything's working.
Yeah. They start because I had some audio issues, and they told me, like, Andrew, this is like a recurring thing for you. You get attacked.
Big
Really?
time. Yeah. So I fixed it. I fixed the issue. It's just like how I have my streaming set up. We're not doing it this way, so there is a pretty good chance that my tab will crash and I'll disappear for a minute. Especially when I start bringing the sauce, like when I start bringing the heat. That's typically when it just like fries everything. I've sorted it when I run my own setup, but since I'm on yours, there's a pretty good chance we break things. So.
Did you start streaming through like OBS or something?
OBS fixed a big part of it. There was a couple other little changes I had to make with my audio settings to make it work right. But yeah,
Oh,
OBS
okay.
definitely helped.
Interesting. Never used OBS before because it has BS in it, so I can't use it.
Well, I will let you know this. Your business mastery, BM, that stands for bowel movement over here in the US. Like if someone says BM, it means bowel movement. So, I mean, you're kind of past the point of like non-kosher
Yeah, that makes sense.
acronym. So you might as well just roll with it, bro. Yeah.
I mean, I do remember the last time we were talking. That was in a very kosher restaurant.
It was, yeah.
Yeah,
That was a good time. Yeah.
oh, it really was. So, you've been in Mongolia.
Yeah, I got back. I had about 2 weeks in Mongolia where, just was getting after it, man. It was a good time.
That was awesome. Like, was this vacation time for you?
Sort of. So, Yeah, sort of. So I'm a big Genghis Khan fan.
Yeah.
As everyone knows, this is common knowledge. I
Yes.
have a huge amount of respect for Genghis Khan and what he was able to accomplish in his lifetime and some of the systems he set up. So I didn't think I was going to be able to make it to Mongolia this year, but I was able to end my time with the U.S. military quicker than I thought I was going to. So it was an option, and I decided to go before the world went crazy and there was, U.S.-China tensions that kept me out of that part of the world, for example, in the next year perhaps. So I've been meaning to go pay tribute to the OG,
Wow.
and see what I could learn from the Mongolian people. So I got to go and yeah, it was kind of a vacation. It wasn't a hot tub vacation. It wasn't like me relaxing, chilling. It was like I spent, the first 2 days were horseback archery. So I was riding horses at full gallop and shooting bows and arrows, which is awesome. Blast. Yeah. It's a rush. It connected with something in my DNA. It was great. Then I went to the old ruins, or what are left of the ruins of his original capital city, Karakorum, which is out in central Mongolia. Hung out with some of the nomadic herders over there. That was like the New York City or the Amsterdam of its day, right? Where it was like the financial center of the world. Like everybody came to Karakorum, and now it's just some field in the middle of some Mongolian valley. I did that. And then I spent 4.5 days riding horses through the Tool Valley and some of the places that Genghis Khan rode. So I spent time out there. And like for that time, I had no internet and was just out there in the middle of nowhere, blue sky, riding horses with Genghis Khan rode, thinking deep thoughts.
Wow.
Had some pretty cool upgrades to the campus come to me while I was out there. And then got back, wrestled with some of the Mongolian traditional wrestling team. Those dudes were tough as nails. Yeah, tough as nails. Grandson's Genghis Khan, bro. I was wrestling with them. They were good. My stand-up wrestling isn't that great. I'm more of a striker. So I got to learn a few lessons. I did throw them a couple times, so that felt good. But did that, and then bounced over to Tokyo because I had to have a 24-hour layover somewhere. Ended up in Tokyo, trained some judo with a judo UFC fighter. A guy he was a judo guy, then went and did the UFC, then teaches judo now. I went and trained judo with him. Tried to do Aikido, but it was all super gay. I looked up Aikido in Japan, and it was all like, this is for women and children. So I'm like, yeah, no, that's not the real Aikido. I know true Aikido. I'll just go watch Steven Seagal. So made it back. Been heads down ever since. But yeah, so I was either doing amazing Mongolia stuff or not sleeping and working on the campus while I was in Mongolia. That was the game. But now I'm back. Wow. I'm back. Moving ahead. Major upgrades.
So you sent me some footage of you riding a horse and doing like archery as well. That was awesome.
Yeah. Dude, it was amazing.
Next time you go first.
Yeah. No, it was amazing. It connects with something in your DNA. There's something about starting off at a gallop on these, and they're tiny little Mongolian horses. They're not like big American huge war horses. They're tiny little Mongolian horses, but you're going at a full gallop, loosing arrows at these targets. It was
amazing.
It was great. I don't have any Mongolian ancestry. I don't think. Maybe I do. I've got the brown eyes, the super brown eyes. Maybe I do. But there's something genetic. I know I had ancestors that rode fast and shot arrows or guns at targets because that just felt absolutely right. Absolutely.
That's awesome. So that's really cool. I got that video. I was kind of surprised. I was also kind of jealous. I'm not gonna lie. Mm-hmm. Like you had all the tug rugs.
I did. Which apparently that used to be Genghis Khan started that currency. It's super devalued now, but they came up with the currency because it was too difficult to trade in alcohol. They traded in alcohol before, some type of like milk vodka or something like that. And then Genghis Khan's like, okay, this is getting complicated. And he came up with some monetary unit. Or some Mongolian was telling me something about it, and it's like semi-broken English. Thought it was interesting. So there's some cool stuff.
I think that's a Genghis Khan quote, right? When he said, "Conquering the world on horseback is easy, governing it, that is hard."
Big time. And he was actually able to get a pretty good team around him and do a pretty good job of that, actually.
And then I think he died, and then his children fucked it all up. Is that correct?
They actually did pretty good for a couple generations. So they kind of better than most, considering the scale of what he did. Yeah. It's hard to keep an empire that big together and coherent over a few generations. But yeah, he had one son, Ogadai, that was he appointed as his heir, his designated heir, and he kept together pretty well. And then there was a little bit of clash and tension between him and Kublai, who was the next major Khan. And between that time, they continued their conquest of Europe, went and kicked and knocked down your guys' door over there. Completely messed up Moscow, marched on Budapest and all that stuff, did some cool things during that time, finished a lot of their conquest of the modern-day Arab world and stuff. But actually, for about 3 generations, they kept it together. They kept it together pretty dang good. There was some
Wow.
splintering that happened afterwards. I mean, like it's a pretty big empire, and you tend to have splintering after that.
Makes
But
sense.
for the most part, he instilled it into his kids. I mean, they
Wow.
grew up on the conquest path. Like they were riding around with him on all of his conquests.
Yeah.
There's a letter that one of his grandsons wrote to the Pope. So the Pope wrote Genghis Khan, or the Khan, a letter in Karakorum. I saw the actual text of it at the museum I was at, the ruins.
Yeah.
And the Pope was like, "Hey, bro, you got to get baptized. You got to stop killing these Christians. You got to stop doing all this stuff." Dude, the Khan replied back. It was just like the most like just calmly, who are you? Reply. Ever. He was like, "Listen." He's like, God has appointed us to rule the world. Has he not? Like, look at us. We defeated your people. Like, God has favored us. And what do you know about baptism and who gets to heaven and all this stuff like that? And his seal is like by the eternal power of God. Like he had this epic answer. So like, sure, he wasn't Genghis Khan. Yeah, he didn't grow up like hunted by a wolf, but he had listen, man, like I'm a G. We're here to rule stuff. Who's this Pope guy? If you're serious about it, come to Karakorum. Come over here, bro.
Yes.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out.
So the G attitude was certainly instilled in his progeny. And there were a couple people that were really good at channeling that stuff. So
that's awesome.
A lot of inspiration. I've got sons. You have sons.
Yes.
A lot to learn about instilling the divine purpose into the progeny.
That's awesome. People are saying we need Pope in the live. But he wasn't talking to that Pope. He was talking to the other Pope.
Yeah, the Vatican Pope. Yeah.
They're not the real Pope. So, I mean, it's good to have you. It's good to have you back as well. When we do like the next professor meetup, we should do some wrestling.
100%.
I think that would be fun because I've never wrestled before. So you could teach me.
Well,
some
I've learned
stuff.
a thing or two. It's something I want to spend a lot more time on before I go back to Mongolia next year, assuming the tensions aren't where they should be.
Yeah,
I like to do some more training and do that. But yeah, dude, wrestling has a place, right? I only know how to strike, and that's like full nuclear options. Like either we're friends or I'm physically breaking your face, right? Yeah. Wrestling kind of provides this nice little middle ground thing where you can still fight, but you're not actually killing them. It's like not full nuclear. It's like no, just a conventional war. So
yeah, you want to make sure you demobilize them. Like that. I get it. Okay. So when you like, because I checked out your campus, I was redoing some thumbnail stuff, some structure stuff, and I checked out your campus, and it's super. I mean, you have it super organized. Everything looks clean and nice and fresh, and like I get the sense that whenever I look, you're recording new stuff. Is that correct? Because you re-record a lot of stuff as well, right?
Yeah, I'm constantly fixing and improving stuff, and I like to think of my campus as like a machine, and it puts the raw materials is like some guy who's just woken up out of the Matrix, like Neo, like all covered in slime, and like just woken up. Like that's the input, and the output is supposed to be a super strong G who's winning and conquering, right? Now there's problems with the machine. I put that material in and maybe there's a stoppage here or people are getting spit out a little bit different over here. So I'm constantly figuring out ways to improve and tinker the machine to make it more effective at taking students who are ready and willing to make money and giving them all the tools they need to do that. So I'm constantly refilming and restructuring my stuff to make it more effective. And I'm constantly finding new problems. People on the campus will be like, hey, we need this type of guide or we need this. And I'll put together a resource for them. So I do what I can to give them the tools they need to go from slimy Neo to like the one able to dodge.
Yeah.
And I know Kung Fu. Yeah. That's the game. That's the game.
So if you look at like, and by the way, for the students listening in, if you can ask your questions in BM Live, that would be great. I'll be looking over some to see what is good and also what is shit. So and I'll be flaming you if it's shit. So if you look at like your current process, because for the people listening in, I don't know if you're aware, but copywriting is one of the two. Well, it's in the top two. Sometimes one, sometimes it's two, but of the most successful campuses we have, people really, really love it. They have enormous numbers. They're doing awesome. If you look at the current state of your campus, what do you think is the most vexing problem that you could solve for the students?
Yeah, so there's two main problems, right? There are people who have not yet decided to become great, and they think they've somehow convinced themselves, like keto themselves, and thinking that it's okay to be a loser and staying comfortable.
Yes.
So that's one side. That's sort of the beginning problem. But there's a lot of people that have figured that out. So for those people in the very beginning stage, it's really not about even the copywriting tactics they need to learn or the skills they need to learn. They just need to stop being okay with being a loser. And once they've like actually allowed themselves to feel massive pain, they actually start taking the effort. And it's pretty easy to apply all the tools that I have there. But their biggest limitation is they're really still good at mental aikido and mental gymnasticsing themselves into thinking it's okay to be a loser. So I got to cure them of that. That's the first thing they have to cure themselves of when they first enter the campus. And then after that, it's about helping those who have clients and who have landed clients and are willing to work hard. It's giving them all of the tools and the insights they need to help their clients become massive successful. Because a lot of the guys, they can do it and they can get some results, but there's a lot of things they don't know. And so I'm spending a lot of time focusing on helping, especially my experienced guys and sort of the guys who are in the middle of the campus, to have experiences with me where they get to learn what they don't know. So because they can see things that they need to fix, but there's some things they can't see. And I have to show them the things they can't see. So that's what I'm hyper focusing on right now is those two things. Hey guys, if you're over here and you still think it's okay to be a loser, what's wrong with you? You need to wake up, like feel the pain and change. And hey, now that you've actually decided to be serious, let me equip you with as many tools as you possibly can to just absolutely crush it. Make a bunch of money for your clients so you can make a bunch of money. That's where I focus most of my time and energy right now inside the campus.
That's if you want to do like a Matrix analogy, it's the scene where they have the armory, right? It's in the white room. That's what you give them. That's the stuff.
Once he's in the game, let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
Armory time, buddy. Let's go over the tools.
Someone asked like a question that I really like because I can sort of use it for another question. But a guy asked like, does copywriting apply when you sell your own product?
Yes.
100%, right?
100%.
Yeah. I want to get into that. Like, and it's also a question I'm asking of you. Like, you obviously a lot of the material is geared towards them learning the skill, and the road I see most people taking is, okay, now that I know this skill, let me find people that I can sell the skill to, right? But like the idea of having your own product or business or service and scaling it with copywriting, that's super powerful as well.
It's ideal. Yeah, it's the ideal thing you can do, right? You don't really make money in this world unless you own a business and you grow that business, right? Ownership, equity in a business is what makes you money, right? And most people, when they're first starting out, they don't have the reason I don't recommend, hey, brand new 18-year-old kid, go launch your own product and sell it, unless you're doing some type of e-commerce product or selling something, and then definitely go through Schwabe stuff, use his stuff. That'll help you launch that. Yeah. But if you're trying to create like your own courses or build your own course or coaching program or something like that, the issue you have is most people start off and they don't have personally any outcomes that other people want. Like they've never generated anything for themselves that other people desire. There's some weak, skinny loser who's just, the only thing he's got going for him is he's decided that he's not going to be broke anymore and he's going to work hard and he's going to develop some stuff, right? He doesn't have an outcome or any kind of credibility in a space. He's not like, yes, I've helped 400 people lose 40 pounds. Like, trust me, right? They don't have the credibility or even their own life to show as an example of, hey, don't you want this? Let me sell you this thing. So because they don't have those things and they don't have those assets, it's usually better to start your life off as a mercenary, right? So if you think of a king as someone who owns his territory, owns his land, and grows his own asset, his own business.
Yeah.
If
Oh no, it happened. We lost Andrew. Oh my God. The Matrix attacked. We lost him.
Back.
He's back. Good.
Yeah, it happens every so often. We're back.
Okay, good.
It's better to go out and then help someone who has their own business, earn some skills, create an asset. Hey, I can create this outcome for other people, some level of credibility. And then once you have that and you have outcomes in your own life that you like, or you have things that you can actually help someone with, then by all means, you need to either partner with a business and get equity in their business, or you need to start your own business running your own products. And yes, you're going to be using copywriting the entire way to get attention, to monetize that attention. You'll be using the skill nonstop to build that market.
Yeah, I agree.
But most people aren't ready for it. If they have those conditions, start your own business. Use everything I teach you and everything Arno teaches you to like run your own business. But if you don't have credibility, you don't have an outcome that people actually desire in your own life, then just go help someone else. That's what you do. You go out, you act as a mercenary, you make a bunch of money, and then you go build your own kingdom. Yeah.
How do you like? So let me take that example, right? Let me take Yeah, someone that like I remember me when I was getting into real estate. I was like 20. I had no
Yeah.
skills. I had no network. I basically knew nothing. So it wouldn't make
Yeah.
sense for me to coach anyone because I didn't know anything. I can't coach you on
Yeah.
anything. Like how do you go from that point and you're learning copywriting and now you're trying to convince people that you know what you're doing? How do you actually convince them that you do know what you're doing?
Within the realm of something like copywriting, for example,
Yeah, for
or
example,
for like an
yeah.
outside thing. For copywriting, you're going to have to trade. You have to demonstrate your capability. You have to demonstrate your ability to provide the outcomes that they want. So
Yeah.
for copywriters, what I recommend my students do is they start off at the very beginning. They tap their current existing network and they bank off the goodwill they have with their friends and family and find someone who has some type of business, and they get the permission from that person to help them with their marketing. And they
Yeah.
work for free, upfront free. They create
Yeah.
results for them, demonstrate that they actually have the ability because they've learned the skill. You stay there, you get the help from the campus, you help them get amazing results. And then you can say, hey, look, I do know what I'm talking about. I have generated these results. Here are my achievements. And what that
Yes.
does is then they can then convince someone, okay, this person is credible. I can now listen to them. So it's about finding a way to get the opportunity to demonstrate your skill and demonstrating that you're actually capable of producing those results. And once you have that, you have enough credibility that people will at least listen to you. And then as long as you say smart things and provide value to them, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. So let's see. After selling solar panels door to door, I realized that copywriting and sales is almost the exact same thing.
Exact same.
Wow.
Copywriting is at scale.
Yeah, right.
Salesmanship is one-to-one. It's you talking with one person or a handful of people. And copywriting is about using those same principles to sell at scale. So
Yes.
I build a machine and now I can talk to 1 million people and use some of the same tactics. So, but
So-
the actual influence that happens, exactly the same because human nature doesn't change.
I agree. Yeah, same thing. So he's saying, however, I'm struggling with the decision between the two and which would be a better career choice. Might be a stupid question, but I would love some feedback. No, compared to most questions, this was a very intelligent question. Yes.
Yeah.
I've seen way dumber. So yeah,
Mhm.
good job. So should he go into selling or copywriting?
So if you go into selling, like selling is a fantastic career and a fantastic option, right? And there's a couple ways you can scale that to make some pretty some money, even if you want to stay an employee, right? Selling solar panels is nice. It's fairly high margin. It's an okay trend. Typically, though, you want to move into an industry that sells even more expensive things. Like right now, you're selling a package for what? 5 figures, 6 figures, and you're making a tiny little commission on that. You want to move yourself into the options where you start selling things for millions of dollars, because then the commissions can actually change your life. Like that's actually better. Or you take your sales skill and you partner with someone who has a different product and you become the VP of sales. You build a sales training and you actually train a bunch of salesmen and then you use that machine to go out and make money. Like Jordan Belfort, right? Jordan Belfort sure, he made some money selling, but what allowed Jordan Belfort to make the kind of money that allowed him to go sink his yacht in the Mediterranean while he was still making money is that he was able to train a team of people and tap into scale by using other people's time and energy. He was able to clone himself as a salesman, build a sales machine, and then he could go do Quaaludes and whatever he wanted. Bad way to live your life, but it illustrates how he's able to separate his time from actually earning money by building up a team. So that's one avenue you can take with a sales thing, or you can just sell really, really expensive things like yachts or something like that. Or pipeline equipment. I talked to this old dude the other day. He's like 75, and he made all of his money selling piping equipment to Latin American countries over the last 20 years.
Really?
Probably super corrupt game, but but he made a ton of money because he was selling multi-million dollar packages, and when his commission on it was fantastic, right?
Yeah, no,
So you can do things like that. Copywriting allows you to also learn how to sell at scale, so you can tap into the power of the internet, global competition, stuff like that. So you have some pros and cons there, but you're still going to have to move towards systems where you are driving the machine and you aren't the guy in the trenches anymore. So no matter which way you go, there's a way to wealth. It really just depends on which one you like better. Like it really does. I personally like the idea of copywriting a little bit more. It provides a little more adaptability because you're operating from a laptop and not from I have to sell this product in this particular location. It gives you a little more adaptability. Let's say America does what the Dutch did 200 years ago and America tanks, which is going to in the next 5 to 20 years. It's going to disappear, right?
It's fake news.
If you've built your entire sales career in California, you're screwed. You're absolutely screwed. But if you're a copywriter and you can do it from your laptop and you've cultivated a few geopolitical options, bro, you bounce, you're living in Chile and you're doing great. Chilling in Chile. You're chilling in Santiago, Chile with your laptop and you're building your empire and you're fine. So I personally like things that are a little more adaptable. Sometimes it's easier to do that with copywriting than you can with just pure sales. Although you can do sales, make it adaptable where you're just running it from your phone or from Zoom. But it's kind of up to your preference. There is a way to become a multi-millionaire G, own a business, drive the machine. Either way, it's just whatever you want to do.
So let me give another perspective. But first of all, like it's fake news. The Dutch never tanked. This never happened.
Bro,
the
Dutch
Dutch
tanked.
The world.
The Dutch tanked.
We
like capitalism, tulips, and ships. Did great for a while, and then the British kicked your guys' butts.
No, we
them, and then the British died in the 1940s, and then the Americans won. We did pretty good during the Cold War, and now we're tanking now, and some other countries are going to take the global dominance. That's just how it is.
Don't listen to this man.
It could be the Netherlands, though. The Netherlands is actually looking pretty good. Like, they have some options. They could have an upswing here in the next little bit, but
we'll see.
All empires die. The Dutch Empire did die. The American Empire is dying now. It's dying. It's declining. It's not great anymore. That's how it works.
This is true.
But we'll see. We'll see what the next empire is. It'll be fun.
Like what I'm if I look at it from the perspective, let's say we take, I don't know, 18-year-old Andrew, right? 20-year-old Andrew. You actually did a shitload of sales work in the missionary sector, right? That is sales. Big time. You talk to. Do you ever thought about like how many people you actually talked to in that time?
You know, I've never run the full numbers, but there was a period of time where I was teaching like 30 different lessons a week. So I was sitting down with 30 different families. Maybe I would teach a family 2 or 3 times, but anywhere from like 10 to 20 families every week. And I was sitting there teaching them, what I could about Jesus and improving their life and all that good stuff.
Exactly.
And that was just a massive amount of reps influencing others to change their life for good in my worldview, right? So, I got a lot of reps in.
You went to Mexico as well?
Mexico City,
yeah.
Great food, wonderful people. Yeah.
Yes. Well, you must have spoken, if you add everything up, probably thousands of people.
Easily thousands and thousands of people.
Yeah. If I let's say if you compare life to a video game and you're like in the Sims or something, if I would have to build my perfect sim, I would probably force him to do sales. Like I did the same thing in the sense that I went door to door. I did phone sales. Do that for a year, 2 years, 3 years. You get the picture then. And then if you go into copywriting then with that experience, you're going to clean up. Like you're way better.
Yeah, I'm going to push back a tiny bit on it. Like definitely there's value. If you have that experience, it's a valuable thing to pull from. But you're still going to have to get those reps in regardless. Like let's say you're starting today. You could go and try and you could go do sales or go do something door to door or whatever. And that's cool. You could do that and you could get the reps in, and then you could then take that experience and use that for other things. Or you could just try and sell your own stuff, get the same number of reps in, but get paid as a result. Like as great as it was, and I got paid in blessings, right? I helped a bunch of people, felt really good. And I'm not going to change that at all. If you had 2 years and you spend the same 2 years on selling your own stuff, you're going to learn all the same lessons that I did, but your bank account's going to grow. So if you have those experiences, use them. But I'd almost recommend just learn those sales things, but on your own time. So you're getting paid and you're actually building equity in your own empire personally. So unless you're doing something for religious reasons. Yeah.
We want you selling. That's what we want you to do. I don't really care, left, right, center. I want you selling. Yeah. I want you out there talking to people. It's so important. So important.
Yeah, I'm actually creating a little resource inside of my campus that I think is going to be really valuable for a lot of my guys because they're so socially terrified, right? They might be brave even in the gym. Like they might go to the gym, train hard, fight hard, spar hard. They got that bravery, but that bravery doesn't automatically. It can, but it doesn't automatically transfer over to social bravery. So they're kind of scared of what their family might think. They're scared of what that girl might think. They're scared of what the business prospect might think, and they're so freaking terrified to actually talk to people and do stuff that they lose. So I've got some rather arduous challenges that I have planned for the guys to help them develop a little bit of social bravery, a little bit of social sauce, so they can go out and actually
that's cool.
Actually talk to a prospect without sounding like a super geek that's lived in a basement their whole lives. Playing video games. Yeah.
That's like I did a call this morning because I got I'm in the real time zone, right? Some people are not. I did a call this morning, and it was about small talk, like the art of small talk.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Oh, really? And you can you can sort of tell within 1 or 2 minutes, like, is this person socially savvy or not at all? And the not at all is not good.
It's not good. It's immediately repulsive. This person has zero ability to provide value to me. Goodbye.
Yeah, he doesn't get it.
That's
Yes.
exactly what the business owner thinks when you interact with them. That's when the partner or whoever you're negotiating with, someone you're trying to sell, doesn't matter. If they sense that you don't know how to talk to another person, that immediately screams, "This is a peasant. This is a lowly, stinky peasant that can't help me. Goodbye."
Why?
Right.
Yeah. Why would I spend time with this dude? Yeah, doesn't make any
Yikes!
sense.
I don't want to catch anything from this guy. How do I get away as fast as possible?
Might be contagious. Yes.
No, I don't want any of these bad vibes or fleas to pass to me. No, thank you. Escape.
Get away.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hey, Professor Andrew, I wanted to ask, like, if you do warm outreach for referrals, mostly they say, "Okay, we will see," and they take time on it. It's been 2 months. I've been waiting. I've got ghosted. He got ghosted, Andrew.
You got ghosted, bro.
Yes, and now I'm shortlisted by cold outreach. I don't know what that last thing meant, but
I don't know what he's exactly saying there. And I typically like to go back and forth and get a little more context here, but we can make some assumptions and give him some pretty decent advice. So he's reached out to some people. He's offered to provide his services for free-ish as kind of doing the warm outreach method I tell people so they can get some actual experience. And people are said, "Oh yeah, we'll see about it, whatever, right?" You need to follow up with a specific option like, "Hey man, let's hop on a call here or now," or you need to follow up at some point 2 weeks from now. There are other people you can continue to warm outreach to as well. Like if you've reached out to 2 people and they've said, "Yes, let's talk," and you tried to set something up and they kind of ghosted you, that might happen. Sales is a numbers game. You need to cultivate other options to fill up your pipeline. You need to go through and follow up with other people on your list. You should have more than 2 people on your list. You should have 50 to 300 people on your list, and you should work your way through those other contacts before you move on to cold outreach. Because if you're trying to do cold outreach and you have zero proven capability, no testimonials, no "I've done this before," you're fighting an uphill battle. And if you're a G about it, you can do it. But it makes it so much easier for you to do that if you do it with the warm outreach first. So
I agree.
Again, I don't know your specific situation. I highly recommend you take your full context, full situation to my campus. Go ask the captains and give them the full picture of what you've done, exactly how many people you've reached out to, what you said, how closely you followed the templates I gave you, how what you've done to follow up. Give them all the context and they'll point you in the right direction for your specific case. But based on the information I have, that's the general advice I'd give to someone who's in that sort of limbo, "I've been ghosted" stage of the warm outreach.
I've been ghosted.
Ghosted.
Oh man. Let's see. Hey, Professor Arno and Andrew. I just got a client for 10% of all the profit they make from a product based on copywriting and content creation. Overall, they are overwhelmed with the content I provide, but there are some parts of his business I know I can improve. But he is really stubborn. How incisive or adamant should I be with trying to sell him those improvements without losing the client?
So I've got thoughts. You want to take this one first? Or you want me to dive in?
No, go first.
Right. Yeah. All right. So the worst thing you could possibly do is rant and rave at your client about how stupid he is and how he needs to do this other stuff and you need to do this. And the worst thing you could do is do that because it makes you look emotional and it makes you look.
Give me 30 seconds, Andrew. Just keep going. Yes,
I'll be back. I've got you, man. Yeah, you can't just rant and be needy and be like, "No, dude, you have to do this." Like you should just, because there's a fundamental problem here is he does not trust you. He does not trust you. He does not see the value of what you're providing. If he did, he would be bending over backwards to get it all accommodated because he's so excited about the thing that you're providing. You have to earn his trust and you have to earn his respect and you have to allow him space to get excited about what you're offering him. So the first thing you need to do is you need to figure out how to shrink the scope. Instead of doing so much for him, you need to find one small thing that you can absolutely crush for him right now really quickly that's easy for him to implement. You provide that for him. You do everything you can to make it as easy as possible for him to apply it. Maybe you're the guy that like somehow uploads it to him, wherever it needs to go. But you need to provide him with some results. Once you do that, once you actually provide him something and he gets a massive return of value as a result, then watch how excited he is to do all that extra work of all those other things that you're you're projecting or telling him to do, because now he knows that if he listens to you, he's going to get the result. But right now, he doesn't super trust you yet. The money hasn't changed hands. It's a revenue share deal, which is a great deal if you can make it work. But you need to get him a quick emotional win by doing a small piece first, get him some results, and now he all of a sudden sees you as a legit expert, and you've given him a taste, and now he's excited to experience the huge rush of profits that you're going to provide him by the full scope. So you're not going to get that by just telling him to do everything all at once right now. You need to say, okay, look, let's just focus on the small piece. Let's get this done, and we'll move on to the big stuff later. That's going to be – you're going to give you a better chance of influencing him to do all the big stuff than if you're just like, dude, you have to do this. You're a retard. Like, that's not a very good persuasive strategy.
Solid approach. Yeah. Listen, moron. No.
You're not at the stage yet where you have the level of scarcity in this world to pull off that kind of move.
Yeah, let's not do that. No, I definitely agree. And like to add to that, like if the guy is overwhelmed, like I have a story somewhere in one of the lessons about idea people. And they are the most annoying people in the world. Like they all, like everyone always has ideas, and you should do this and you should do that. And then if you're already overwhelmed, it's the most annoying thing in the world. Yeah, I know I should do that, but right now it's not happening. And I agree 100% with Andrew. Like, do something, any result, get something, and then he'll trust you enough to take on your ideas and have you do something, right? Get results.
Yeah, you've got to do everything in your power to minimize the amount of effort and sacrifice that they're going to have to put in up front. You have to do that. You need to remove as much friction as possible. Yes. To him right now, like, sure, you might think that you're working for free for him, but he does not view it this way. He views every second, every hour of time that he has to spend going back and forth and doing stuff with you as a major cost. You have to realize that for people that have any kind of money at all, time is their scarce resource, not money. For the brokies, for those of you who don't have any money, money is the scarce resource, and you've got a lot of time.
Yes.
And you think that if you're not charging them money, you're not providing, there's no cost. But in a person who, like in the mind of someone who has money or is building an empire where money is, where time is more scarce than money, any amount of effort that you're asking them to make is the cost. And that's the big thing that you need to minimize in order for it to be more of a work for free type situation. Yeah. You want to take as much off of their plate as possible, and you do as much of it as you possibly can. You can do that by shrinking the scope of what you're asking them to do and apply at the beginning, and then scale up over time as you get them that win. Once you get them the win, then they're yours forever, and you can help them. They'll be a lot more interested in investing their time, because now they know, okay, I invest an hour of time into this, and I get an extreme amount of money and the strategic outcome that I really care about. Okay, this is a worthy investment of my time. I'm going to pour 10 hours into this to help them with the big part of the project, because you've earned it. You've proven it.
And you finally, I don't know, like for the people listening in, a lot of you will never have had staff or haven't worked with vendors before. It's a rare occurrence when you actually find someone that gets shit done. Like, this is rare. Mm-hmm. Like, most people are absolutely, well, I wouldn't say retarded, because, I will say retarded. Most people are retarded. And I mean, 95% of people that you talk to, or they don't get anything done. And it's you ask them a question, you get 73 questions back. It's the most annoying thing in the world. Oh, get something done. Holy shit. Let's see. This is a change of pace. Someone asked, social consequences, whether real or in my head, are paralyzing me when I'm making decisions. I'm finally gaining momentum with my alter ego challenge. Is that something that you do, Andrew?
I have no idea what he's talking about specifically.
Okay, good. How have you guys built such calluses to the losers weighing you down? I think he's asking, how do you deal with losers weighing you down?
I think so. I think he's saying I'm scared of acting because I'm worried about what these losers around me might think.
Yeah.
So my usual response to this particular question is just enjoy being broke. If you care more about what some loser thinks about you than what you think about yourself, or the fact that you're like not making any money, or the fact that you're doomed to be a slave for eternity, if that fear doesn't outweigh the little bit of fear you have of some random loser's opinion that's not even living your life, some rando that is not living your life, some rando's opinion of you, if that matters more to you than the potential of being a slave forever, then enjoy being broke, right?
Yes.
That's the cold, hard truth about it. A lot of people, like, you have fears. The way you defeat a fear...
Oh, no. We lost him again. It was too much power. Let's see if he gets back. He's fighting off.
Back.
Ah, and he's back.
Yeah,
That's quick.
Here we go. Yeah, I'm getting good at coming back. So good. You try to defeat a fear. It's kind of hard to defeat a fear. Fears are there for a reason. It's some type of feedback that your brain is giving you, right? Like if you're in war, let's say you're in World War I, just next door to where Arno was or is or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're there and you have to go over the trenches and go fight the enemy position. There's machine guns going off. There's mustard gas. You would be you'd have to be Forrest Gump to not be afraid of that stuff. You'd have to just completely be stupid to be afraid of it. But the way you actually defeat that fear and go out and do the brave thing is you have a bigger fear. You have a fear of letting your brothers down, the fear of letting your countries down, the fear of seeing yourself and having other people see you as a pussy. So you get up with your bros, you fix bayonets, and you charge the line, right? That's how you defeat fear. Same thing here. If you're looking at this, you're like, oh no, I'm worried about taking action, but I'm worried about what this person might think of me. I'm worried about what that person might think of me. You should actually actively use a bigger fear to defeat that one. And then you'll be able to destroy it. There's no way to make that fear go away. There is a social consequence. There's a potential risk of failure in front of other people's eyes. There's no way you can mental Aikido that away completely. It's going to be there. Yeah. What you can do is just completely demolish it with a stronger fear. My personal favorite one is worrying. I picture myself as a lame, average, mediocre person. Imagine I was stuck as a lame, average, mediocre person. I lived my entire life and I failed. I was lame and mediocre. Maybe, just imagine how bad that would be. Yeah. I can even amplify it even further. I can think to myself, okay, if you're a lame loser that doesn't actually push through this fear and actually achieve this stuff, eventually there will come a day where there will be a conflict in your backyard, potentially. Your house might get bombed, and you might have to pull your broken, dead child's body out of the rubble because you weren't wealthy enough and strong enough and committed enough to go out and get this done. For me, I can picture that vividly in my brain. Yeah. And the fear of that reality, the unacceptability of that reality is so strong that it can defeat any little tiny fear I encounter in my life. So whoever you are, whatever you're afraid of, that little social thing, just find something you're more afraid of and use that fear to defeat a tiny fear.
So would it be accurate to say that you sort of replace the fear by using a much stronger emotion in a future scenario? Is that accurate?
Yeah, of course.
Interesting.
It's easy to defeat. A tiny emotion, a tiny fear like, oh, what's my cousin going to think? That's an easy one to defeat. Boom, bam, defeated by the super sledgehammer of ultra fear. Defeated.
I agree. Yeah. So someone asked, I am not an adult, so contracts are not binding. How do I keep people from ripping me off? Brav.
Be needed.
Yeah. If you think that a contract would save you, it won't. You don't even have the means to enforce it, right?
Yeah. Contracts, even if you're an adult, aren't really, they're just a slight hindrance. Like they are broken left, right, and center. If you look at, let me give you one example from popular culture, from this fairly well known. Back in the day, this guy, DJT, Donald Trump, he banged this porn star chick. What's her face? That one lady.
The blonde one, right?
Yeah, the blonde one.
Stormy Daniels.
Stormy Daniels, that's her name. And he had her sign an NDA. They had a whole bunch of contracts. If she breaks it, she was supposed to do whatever. It was hush money, right? It was a whole big thing back during the campaign, right? Legal contract, he should be protected. Guess what? Did it stop her from coming out and saying that stuff? No, not at all. Contracts are made up. They're not real. What you really need is leverage. So as a person, let's imagine you're a copywriter and you work for a business and you help them make, let's say you show up and you help them make $100,000, right? On this, I help them close their high ticket product. You help them make $100,000. That's 10 times more than they've ever made in their entire life, right?
Yeah.
And let's say you've also teased an idea for the next stage of how they're going to take their business from $100K a month to $1 million a month. And you've got something cool, right? You've got an idea for them. Now they have an option. And let's say you had a revenue share deal where you're going to make 10% like our last guy.
Yeah.
They can say, okay, if I could just not pay this guy. He made me $100,000. I could just not pay him. I could save $10,000. That's so great. I can buy whatever I like to buy with $10,000. Who knows, right? Go spend
midget strippers. Midget strippers.
Right? Yeah. Just midget strippers. I can go spend $10,000 on midget strippers. This is wonderful. I can just steal from this guy. This is great. Right. But if you've created that extra consequence of being the guy that's so rare and so scarce, then they're like, wait a second, this guy just came in and he made me $100,000. He 10x my revenue. This is so rare. If I screw him over, I'll never get it. Like I won't get any more of this again. And also, he's also got this. This is the guy who's going to take me to 10 million. Think of how many midget strippers I could pay for then. Like,
Wow.
You want to become so vital and so needed that you have leverage. You have something scarce, and then they don't screw you over because it's in their best interest to take care of your interest because you have something they desperately need. So you have to have a leverage in the negotiation by just being so freaking good. Because even a contract won't protect you unless you are good and you have something they desperately need way more than anything else.
Yes.
They could screw you over. They might screw you over. The key is to just simply become amazing. So my friend who is not an adult, do your best to become as amazing as possible and as valuable and needed and scarce as possible. And you'll never have to worry about enforcing a contract in your entire life.
I agree. If it makes sense for both of you, it's fine. If it doesn't make sense, it's going to get broken one way or the other. Trust me. Yeah, you're going to lose it. Someone asks, I'm afraid of ending up mediocre and poor, but it's not. Okay, but there's a but, Andrew. This wasn't it. Okay. Trust me. But it is not powerful enough. And one of the last power up calls, you said that we can use our fears, like imagining your kid's shoes in Auschwitz, will make you way more charismatic. But wow. But my fears are not powerful enough.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know.
That's on you, bro. You got to find your fear. You got to find a fear that actually motivates you. You need to make it vivid and powerful enough to it's actually motivating. I gave an example there of a vivid image of myself pulling my children's body. I mean, if you've seen anything coming out of Israel and Gaza right now, you can pretty much imagine exactly what I'm talking about. And that's powerfully motivating for me. But you have to figure out whatever is powerfully motivating for you. Maybe you picture yourself approaching a beautiful girl and her laughing at you because you are a fat, broke loser. And maybe the idea of that woman rejecting you is so powerful that it moves you forward. Or maybe you do the opposite. Instead of picturing something that's negative, you picture something positive. Maybe then you picture your dream life and you make it as vivid and interesting and compelling and attractive to you as possible because of what you care about most. And that desire is now stronger, or the lack of having that thing that you want is stronger than the current fear. You have to find what works for you, bro. And this is generally a problem of you not making it vivid and getting personal enough with yourself because it's not a comfortable exercise. I do not like imagining my son's dead. That's not something I like to do. But I will do it in order to unlock massive energy. I try not to do it after 6 p.m. because then I can't sleep all night long. But it's up to you to figure out what for yourself motivates you, what you want, what painful experience, or what you can't stand missing out on. You got to figure out what is vivid and powerful and compelling for you.
Agreed. Yes, I agree. Someone asked, how can I follow up without looking needy? I had a lead last week and they really showed interest, but he hasn't replied for a week.
Very good question. Arno, you've got a lot. People think we have beef on follow-ups.
Yes.
We super don't. We're like 100% on the exact same page about follow-ups. It cracks me up.
We were beefing in the kosher restaurant about this.
Big time. We're like, dude, what's the big deal? Like, this is how it is.
Yes, we were fighting across the table.
Yeah, it was great. But we're cool. We figured it all out. It's actually not as complicated as you think. I am a huge fan of following up. But there's a way to follow up like a geek, and there's a way to like a simp. You can follow up like a simp, or you can follow up like a G. There's a lot of simpy behavior with follow-ups for people. Hey, did you see this thing? Or hey, I got more stuff for you. Blah 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 blah. And like, there's a needy, like a very much like, hey, I need you more than you need me. What you want to do, and let me give you kind of an example. You want to lay. It's like you're laying a trap or you're casting a line when you're fishing. Like when you're fishing, you don't like go in the water and like stab the fish. Like maybe that's kind of maybe if you're spearfishing, right? But most of the time when you're fishing, let's say you're out in the high mountain lakes of Montana or whatever, and you're going fishing like a G. Let's assume you're not fly fishing. You're just fishing like normal stuff. You're going to cast out a line. You have a hook and you have some bait, right? And you're going to wait for the fish to come to you and take the bait. So when you follow up, it's better instead of like chasing after them. Dear, please, sir, I must talk to you. Please, sir. Like I want to make monies with you. Can you please hire me? Let's do a call.
Yes.
If instead you provide them something interesting, then they can follow you. I like to do the walk away, a follow up quite a bit. Hey man, looks like you're pretty busy. You got a lot of projects going on. I do as well. Is this like, if this isn't a priority for you, please let me know.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm going to move on and get other things where you're walking away, right? And if whatever you offer in that first email was interesting, they will chase and they will take the bait. Or you could say, hey man, you're probably pretty busy. I was looking at this other funnel for one of my clients and it made me think of something I thought about from you. Here's a quick idea. If you want to know more, let me know. Boom. And you just send that to them and you don't chase up, you don't follow. You're just saying, hey man, here's a piece of bait. There's a hook. And if they take action and take the bite, then you're cool. You're not showing up being like, hey man, I've been thinking about you all day long. I've been writing like constantly about you. Like you're showing up as, hey, random idea hit me. If it's something you want, here you go. And it's something interesting. And maybe they won't follow you. Maybe they won't follow. Maybe the thing you're presenting isn't interesting. Maybe they've already decided that you're a loser because your profile picture is you with a scruffy neck and a stained t-shirt, right? Who knows, maybe the reason they decided not to like you, but you need to present something interesting and allow them to then chase you rather than you being the needy one that chases them. Because then you're just like some needy simp in some chick's DMs. Don't be that guy.
Yeah.
Don't be that guy.
Give them a reason to get back to you.
Yeah.
Like the only thing worse than that is the passive aggressive follow up. I see this every once in a while. Like, hey, I sent this to you and you haven't gotten back to me yet. Like, it would be nice if you actually got back to me. Like, Rav, let's not do that.
They're looking for reasons to disqualify you. Like when someone's going through and they're looking at like the cold outreaches they've received, if you're a business owner, you're not really looking for a winner. You're looking to very quickly figure out why they're a loser so you can quickly delete them and block them from your life, right? They're actively looking for a reason to disqualify you. If you give them a reason to disqualify you right off the bat, don't be surprised when they disqualify you. Don't respond. The point is to not get emotional, not get needy, stay abundant, stay cool, stay a G, and not make any mistakes and give them something enticing to chase. And once they start chasing, then they're yours. Then you got them.
I agree.
Yeah.
Someone, I don't know. Well, someone asked me a question for Arno. Will you be voting on November 22? Apparently, there are Dutch elections, and I can vote. And I can tell you, politics is lame and gay, and I shall never vote. Fuck off. No.
Vote 100%. Voting. We actually, Dylan and I, we had a big rant about this because one of the guys submitted his Twitter for us to analyze, and it was all like he was beefing about politics and religion, the entire thing. And you're like, bro. We were very, very, and dude, Dylan was like super, super clear. It was great. I love it when Dylan just like breaks out and just like calls people like, yeah, because this guy was way because there's nothing more peasant-esque or loser-esque than sitting around and beefing about or caring about politics when you are a brokey. That is literally, it's a psyop that they've designed to get you all angry and distracted with each other and paying attention to all this so they can do whatever they want. That's what the elites do. They get you guys all angry and upset about this and worrying about this, things you can't control. So you feel impotent and angry with your fellow man, and they just do whatever they want, right? You have no ability to influence it. Most voting is like not even real, right? That's just not how people are elected. That's just not how it works. You have zero influence in the whole thing. Your energy and time is better spent 100% investing it into things that will improve your life.
Yes.
So if you're walking around worrying about politics, if you're sitting around beefing about politics all day long, like a certain little pencil-necked geeky guy named Ben that we don't have to name, if that's you, then like just realize you're going to be weak, impotent, and broke and not respected forever. And people are going to say, oh, look, a peasant falling for the peasant trap. Yes. You don't want to be that guy. Be a G. Focus on things that are going to improve your life, build yourself up. And sure, maybe you at least kind of half pay attention to what's going on in the world so you can make the right chess moves. But don't ever fall for the trap of thinking that you can get involved in politics and make a difference. Unless you are a billionaire, there's nothing you can do to influence the situation.
Yes.
So stop pretending that your attention to that matters. It's you trying to pay attention to important things that feel big and important because you're actually just a loser and there's nothing in your own life that's interesting.
Yeah.
So fix that problem. Yeah.
Couldn't agree more. 100% right. Let me see. Let me do one more and then we'll close off. I don't want to take too much of your time. You got shit to do. Let's see. When do you know when you can start spending your money, and how much should you if your spending is not a money-making asset? For example, I used to reward myself with trips and it kept me going. What percentage should I reinvest in my empire, and how much can I piss away on cars or goods? I thought he said cats, but he said cars. Sorry.
Yes. Cars. That's better. Yes. He had said cats. We could have answered this question. So I was thinking about this particular topic actually pretty actively last night about how to approach this. So what you want to do if you're young and you're first starting out, you do want to reward yourself and give yourself good things, but you have to be very careful that you don't fall into the trap of hedonism and rampant consumerism, right? Let's say you make 100 units, just because money is not real and it's all made of numbers anyway. So if you make 100 units of income, right, you should try as much as possible to have your basic living expenses fairly small, right? Like some people they max out their living expenses to equal, like just normal, average, regular living expenses to equal their total income. And then they're super fragile. Oh no, like some bad tiny thing happened, you're bankrupt, you're out of money, boom, you're dead, you died, you lost the game. It's better if possible to minimize your sort of necessity spending so that it's lower. And then everything else should be invested into things that make you more competitive and more powerful as an individual, right? Yes. If that is a trip, if that makes you more competitive and more powerful, gives you cool stories that you can use to inspire others, gives you new experiences, helps you tap into greater insights, like my Mongolia trip, then definitely invest some of your money in that. Yeah. Do you invest your money into, I mean, sure, I would probably minimize the amount of just like stupid things you buy to a degree, at least like relative to your total income, it should be fairly small. Mm-hmm. That's why you should earn a lot of money so you can buy a bunch of dumb stuff and it doesn't matter at all to your life. Yeah. It's not going to kill
weapons.
You.
It's great.
Buy weapons, definitely weapons, but invest your money into things that make you more powerful and more competitive. The first thing you should invest in once you have money beyond your basic living expenses is membership in a fight gym. That is the number one thing you should invest your money in. That is the thing that's going to make you as a man more competitive, more capable, more confident, more interesting, more charismatic. That is what you should invest your money in. Yeah. And yeah, if you have extra money sitting around for that, yeah, then go buy things like cars. Maybe the car makes you more competitive and interesting. Like as long as it's something that makes you more powerful, it's worth investing your money into because again, we're here to make more money, increase our power, become more successful.
Yeah.
Buy things that give you greater power. And sure, if that means a trip, if that means buying a watch or whatever, that helps you increase your power, improves your ability to compete mentally, do it, man. Invest all the money you have available into things like that, right? You don't want to just like waste money or have it sitting somewhere doing nothing. Invest into assets, invest in things that make you more powerful. Make sure that you have enough money coming in that you can cover your expenses and still have enough left over to improve your position on the board of life. That's my take on this whole thing.
I mean, we agree 100% on this. I think it's important, obviously, to cover whatever your daily expenses are, and then from there on out, it's about a lot of this is about experiences and tools. So yeah, the car could be a tool. Like if you can use it in a good way, do it.
It's good for your spirit. I'm not gonna lie. There's like when you are ripping around super fast, like breaking the speed limit and driving a highly responsive, fine-tuned piece of art. That is really good for your soul, bro. Boost your testosterone, boost your mood. It makes me more competitive. Like there's a value there for me to go and drive my car as quickly as possible and enjoy my life that way. And
I would never break the speed limit though. No,
of course. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, that was in a hypothetically speaking.
Exactly. Thank you.
It's great, man. It's great. So like there is a value in that, but you shouldn't ever overextend yourself with those kinds of things in a way that exposes you to unnecessary risk and take you out of the game. So once it's an option for you, yeah, dude, it's great. It increases your personal power. I feel better because as a result.
Hypothetically,
so my favorite thing is about coming back home. Get off the airport.
What's the fastest you've ever driven, hypothetically?
Hypothetically speaking, I'm going to give it in freedom units. Hypothetically speaking, I've gone 165. That's my hypothetical answer for this hypothetical question.
Oh man, that's nice.
That's not bad. It's not terrible. It's not great. But it's okay.
Yeah. Hypothetically, I drove the Ferrari, the Ferrari Spider or something. I drove that in Dubai, and I got up to 174 miles an hour.
Nice.
Yeah, good. That was it never happened, but it was great when it never happened.
Yeah. Yes. For me personally, my favorite part, I live out here in the Intermountain West of the United States, and so we've got a bunch of mountain winding roads. For me, it's ripping around those as quickly as you can. Obviously, you're not going 165 whipping around curves, but that's a lot. That's where I feel the most powerful. It's a lot of fun.
Cool.
When it comes to driving, at least. Yeah.
Awesome, brother. So, okay, that was the last question. Thank you so much for coming on. It's great. I would recommend everyone to get into copywriting campus. It's a vital skill, 100%. Any last words?
Yeah. I was talking with Dylan the other day, and we were thinking how fun it would be to get the three of us together on a call to break down either
man.
students' work or break down a top player out there, someone that's crushing the social media game, some other random brand, and just draw insights and make fun of them. We could probably bonus points. Maybe we could just or we could just get a bunch of clips of midgets and just talk about those, like whatever you want to do, man. But there's got to be a combined call between the three of us in the next month or so. We got to make it happen.
Yes, we'll set it up. I'm game anytime, anywhere, any place will be cool. All right, Andy. Thanks so much. I'll run the outro. Thanks for coming on, brother. Appreciate it.
All right, take care.
Let's see. Remove. Do this. Boom.
Hey, Abdullah. Hey, quick question.
Nice.
Can you
Good
tell
stuff.
me what is the best campus in the real world?
Business.
Okay, thank you.
Gotta get deep, baby!
Dance off, bro. Me and you.
Woo! Go, baby! Go, baby! Lightweight, baby! Woo! Yes, right! Lightweight, baby!
Business.
Business. All right. Thanks, everyone. And we'll talk again soon. Appreciate it.